the most important lesson that we can learn from American history is that real change never occurs from the top on down, but always from the bottom on up. But the reason that that is so exciting and so important is that it shows that our vision, a vision of a nation based on social justice, economic justice, racial justice, environmental justice. That vision is the future of America. And if you look at his life, when you understand the man who is involved in a very brutal business, and that is boxing and fighting and beating people up in the ring, this was a man who loved people very profoundly, loved children. And that love just came right out of him, and I think the people of the world loved him for the love that he gave us. Muhammad Ali, we say thank you for what you have done, not only for our country, but for the world. Rest in peace. We are going to defeat Donald Trump because the American people will not vote for a candidate for president who bases his campaign on insulting one group after another group. Let us not forget that several years ago, Trump was one of the leaders of this so-called birther movement, which was a very ugly and vicious effort to delegitimize the first African-American president in our history. Our country should be extremely embarrassed by this. We have more people in jail than any other country on earth. We are spending $80 billion a year. $80 billion a year to lock up 2.2 million Americans, disproportionately African American, Latino, and Native American. Together, we are going to end that disgrace. And that is why together we are going to invest in our young people, in jobs and education. Not in jails or incarceration. Let's demilitarize local police departments. We must make police departments reflect the diversity of the communities they serve. We must end corporate ownership of prisons and detention centers. We must change law enforcement culture so that the understanding is that lethal force, shooting someone, is the last response, not the first response. It is an eminently sensible idea if our economy is to be strong in the future. It is an idea which already exists in Germany, exists in Scandinavia, and in other countries. Those countries are smart enough to know that their future rests with their young people. They invest in their young people, and that is something we should be doing as well. And not only should we be making public colleges and universities tuition free, we should be substantially reducing student debt. War in Iraq we never should have gotten into, but supposedly we don't have the money to rebuild inner cities in America. Instead of fighting wars that we should not be in, instead of fighting a perpetual war in the Middle East, we're going to invest in inner cities, rural communities, create jobs and good education for our people. Hillary Clinton supported the war in Iraq, one of the worst foreign policy policies. And I'm proud to tell you, not only did I vote against that war, I helped lead the opposition to that. And perhaps the most important lesson that they have taught us, and a very profound lesson it is that as human beings, we are part of nature. We must live with nature. And if we continue to destroy nature, we are destroying the human species. The Affordable Care Act has done some very important things, but we have got to go further. This is what has always happened. The message of the ruling class is think small, not big. People are beginning to think outside of the box. People are thinking in ways that corporate media does not want us to think, that Congress does not want us to think. And people are saying, why not? Why should the middle class continue to shrink with almost all new income and wealth going to the 1%? Why should we be the only major country on earth not to guarantee paid family and medical aid? Why should our young people leave college $30,000, $70,000 in debt? Why should our infrastructure, our roads, our bridges, our water systems continue to crumble when we have millions of workers out there ready to rebuild that infrastructure? Why do we continue to have an immigration policy which is broken? Why do we have our inner cities continuing to crumble? Why are we the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care to all people as a right? And those are the questions that people are asking, and they do not want to see tiny little changes. They want to see real change in this world.
This land was made for you. Come on, let me hear you. This land is mine.